Chaplains of the different faiths gather the men together while still at sea. The soldiers know at this point that they are committed to battle. They also know there's no guarantee about getting out of this with their lives. It gives them time for reflection, and at times like this, many of the men are more than willing to acknowledge their religious beliefs. Before the landing, underwater demolition teams, also known as frogmen, do their part to prepare for the invasion. When the job is completed, they're retrieved in a way that prevents them from becoming a stationary target if they're under fire.
Since we couldn't bring our half-tracks in on islands like that, we landed on the mainland, and that was the first place I saw the rocket launchings from the landing craft and the rolling thunderous impact on the beach.
On August 15th, Invasion Day, small commando groups on each flank set out for shore. Meanwhile, 400 transport planes carrying over 5,000 paratroopers are flying over the Mediterranean. Operation Dragoon, the invasion of southern France, has begun. August 15th, 1944. The invasion is underway. The Gold Coast of the French Riviera, once the playground of Europe's elite, is under attack by invading Allied armies. 9 miles inland, 5,000 paratroopers of the 1st Airborne Division make a drop near the town of Limoux. Then come hundreds of glider-borne reinforcements. Landing behind the German lines creates a chaotic situation for the enemy. French commandos land on the left flank, east of Cap Negre, wipe out a coastal battery, and block the road to Toulon in a letter-perfect operation.
The Germans heard of the Allied attacks at the Côte d'Azur and that the landings were going on. The specialized units were put into battle. The panzers rushed in from the Italian fronts. The repair units had to improvise because there were very few spare parts and a lack of supplies, a lack of reserves. These people realized what a terrible shortage there was of parts and gasoline, and they knew to fight without the parts, without the supplies, was extremely risky.
While the naval barrage softens up the enemy on the beach, the landing crafts wait offshore, out of range of German artillery. The rendezvous continues for hours. Then, finally, they head to the beach. 8 a.m. All of the different divisions head to their landing points on the beach. A message is sent to headquarters on the USS Catoctin that the landings are on time, and the opposition is light. As the landing crafts head for shore, the men have a few anxious moments to ponder their fate. Then the adrenaline kicks in. There's a positive sign. The fire coming in at them is not as bad as they expected.
rocket launching cleared the beach nicely. I had participated in the invasion of Sicily back with the Rangers. This was much easier. Our function was on landing. After the tracks were available, we drove eastward to the French-Italian border.
In the early stages, it is a battle of isolated actions. Until the pieces fall into place, headquarters does not know how it stands. It does not even know that its paratroopers have, by chance, landed right next to the headquarters of the German Corps guarding the assault beaches. They're able to take several hundred prisoners, including the Corps commander. The 45th Division captures the German signal center for the South Coast. With these losses, the Germans' top leadership and communications are cut off at the critical moment. For the Allies, it has been a smooth operation.
The line companies, the riflemen, would be in advance and so forth. However, that was not the case with our type of unit. We would be in front of the riflemen. We would be doing our own reconnaissance for the force in general. And that's why we were the first in to liberate some of these places rather than it being a rifle company.
The 6th Corps, under Lieutenant General Lucian Truscott, quickly sweeps over the 2 German divisions facing the assault beaches. German morale on the continent finally appears to be cracking.
German morale was getting shaky in southern France. The best German units were on the Eastern Front and fighting in northern France. So a lot of the troops in southern France were not the very best troops in the German army. And over 2,000 of them surrendered on the first day of strong fighting. Even more surrendered the next day.
We had one fellow with us. He had been born in Berlin. There was a whole company of Germans. He was able to talk them into surrendering to our cannon company.